to our Versus series. And if you haven't watched some of the other videos, basically it's kind of a fantasy world. We put either fictional characters or Marvel, DC characters up against each other and see who comes out on top. And we got an interesting one today. I'm going to take a villain from the DC universe and put him up against a Marvel hero. You want to reveal your hero?
Spider-Man.
And I'm going to have him go up against the Joker. Now, I know, when it comes down to physicality, the Joker is really out of his element. But, Peter Parker being such a young hero, especially if we're talking about the early comic books, high school or college kid, I think he would go up against Joker thinking that this would be kind of a walk in the park. I'd get him down and it'd be over.
Right.
But I think at first, the Joker would probably get him psychology-wise.
Well, and that's the thing about the Joker is, as much as I understand it, the guy, he's mentally unstable, but like a lot of people are mentally unstable, the guy's a genius.
He's got some smarts about him. So I think he would know, just like when he goes up against Batman, when it becomes a physical altercation, he's going to lose every time.
Yeah.
But if he can psychologically get to him, he's got a fighting chance. And I think Spider-Man not knowing probably who the Joker is,
right,
he would probably go into it and get a little overwhelmed and probably get wounded. The Joker would probably shoot him, injure him, or, break him down mentally, maybe bring up his dead girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, and mess with his mind. And it would take Spider-Man a little bit of, probably have to deal with some personal demons and then come back, regroup, and take on the Joker.
I think you're right. And the thing about the Joker is, as much as Batman's world's greatest detective, the Joker is also, he's no slouch at doing his homework.
Yes.
He's going to know about Peter Parker. He's going to know about his weaknesses. To argue for, Peter Parker on my part for Spider-Man, I would say, he might be a little bit out of his realm. He might be younger, maybe not as mature, but he has fought a vast array of rogues gallery, so he knows the ins and outs of certain characters, and he has fought maybe not someone on the level of Joker, but he has fought people. He has fought people like Dr. Octopus, who's maybe not. Well, one could argue he might be unhinged mentally, but he's definitely a genius.
Yeah.
So he does have a little bit of background experience. Physically speaking, it's been years since I remember reading the Marvel Universe Handbook when I was a kid.
Nice.
And Spider-Man can lift up to, I think it was 5 or 10 tons. I don't remember. Jesus. It was something like that. I don't recall off the top of my head. But it was a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, in fact, one of the most iconic issues, the building was about to collapse on some people. Yeah. And he held the building up.
They kind of did that close kind of thing where he stopped that freight train in the second
they wanted to play homage. Yeah.
No, and we did in the other ones. This one, I can make an argument for Joker, but again, I think in the end he's going to lose, and he always seems to lose anyway. So it's not much of a stretch. But like we did before, we'll go through strengths, intelligent, things like that. I see it as a scene as Joker shows up on the scene, and Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken, take place in New York City, right?
Yes.
So Joker shows up Gotham City, starts wreaking havoc. Spider-Man's okay, we got a new villain in town, I'm going to take him out. Well, like you said, the Joker's going to be well coerced in what Spider-Man's weaknesses are. So he will probably lure him in like a fun house, or he always likes to do that, or an abandoned amusement park. He'll get the one up on him, probably leave him, because the Joker never seems to kill anybody except for the first Robin. And then that was changed, but that's a whole other topic. But he would get Spider-Man down and leave and think that he got the best of him. Spider-Man would have to regroup and probably come back and take care of business.
Well, and that's why I didn't know, because I was almost going to disagree with you, and that might be wrong then. But what I understand about the Joker is he goes in with the intent to kill, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, but it just doesn't seem like it ever works out. Now, he will kill people. He killed people in the comic books, but it's always more or less, he almost like he wants to psychologically break him down.
I could see that, because I was going to say most of Spider-Man's villains, they were talking about beating Spider-Man. Now, a lot of them, you can make the argument like some of them would like to, in the course of the fight, kill him. But it's like the Joker, he goes in thinking...
Oh, I love the Spider-Man. It seemed like every fight scene in the comic books, his suit would get ripped and all that.
Sure.
He would fight till he couldn't fight anymore.
Yes.
So, let's break it down again. So skill or strength-wise, obviously he's going to go to Spider-Man.
Right.
Superman, sorry. The Joker is not physically fit to take anybody on hand to hand.
No.
He's, unless he winds up poisons him or does something where he's blinded.
And then,
he might get a little advantage.
It leans in his favor,
Yeah, so physically wise, the edge is Spider-Man. Now mentally wise, intelligence wise, I have to give the edge to the Joker. Even though he's a lot more mentally unstable, I think he's got a little more smarts. Now, I'm not saying the Spider-Man won't figure it out and come out on top.
Right.
I just think he'd be dealing with a little bit tougher of an opponent.
I mean, Parker does. I mean, he in the course of the comics, I know he would take biology, chemistry classes. That's where he met Kirk Connors, a lizard.
Yes.
But as far as, and there's a certain amount of genius that comes with madness. So yeah, I'd have to give it to Joker on that level. He would think of things that Parker wouldn't.
And it would be more of the dark, sinister stuff, too. Yeah, and Parker wouldn't want to go there. Parker has always been an arrogant, cocky guy, but he's not a sinister guy. So, and then that goes to the weapons and hand-to-hand combat. That, I would almost give the edge to Spider-Man, but the Joker does kind of know, like, the booby traps where he sets off napalm bombs and things like that. I would give that an even score. Because Spider-Man's obviously got the more physical form, and of course he could shoot webs out and things like that, but and then you flip side, so that one to me is a little even.
One thing I want to make an argument for, one thing I want to bring up is, and it has been touched on a whole lot in the film, some of it has, his spider sense. So much so in the comics that they really, whenever there was some kind of act of danger going on, he knows about it, and I don't know how much of that has been portrayed in the comics. The films.
I know they brushed on it, I think, in all three phases, but I don't think it's like a huge thing.
Push, yeah. And again, you could argue, because the Joker he uses a lot of chemicals and things like that in his concoction, so he might even make some concoction that will limit his spider sense, you might say. So, yeah.
And the Joker always seems to get a lot of henchmen. He's not going to show up at this, let's call it a fun house or an abandoned amusement park. He's not going to show up and face the Joker at first. He's going to face a bunch of his goons.
Right. And the thing about, and I will say too, I'll give him credit for this, the Joker in this fight scenario, Parker, no matter what, he's going to save anybody. He includes the Green Goblin when Gwen Stacy got.
Yes.
And he stopped short of killing him.
He now beat him to a pulp.
Yeah, Joker's own goons. He has no qualms about.
He'll blow a cap right at him if he's blowing, messing up the plan.
So Parker, to entertain, for him to even possibly get into the area where he could be defeated, he's going to save the lives.
Yeah.
Including the bad guys. So that's going to put him at a
little bit of
disadvantage.
But as much as I want to make an argument for Joker in this fight, I think, probably 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, Spider-Man will figure it out and he'll put him on out of commission. He's not going to kill him because that's not what Spider-Man does. No. But he'll get him incarcerated, throw him back in DC, Arkham, and that'll be the end.
If this was Punisher, it'd be a different story.
Yes, if it was Punisher versus Joker, it would be a whole different animal.
Yeah.
But no, again, that's our hypothetical, fights, kind of our own world. And like I said, we put them in New York City, and ultimately, I think the Joker would have the upper hand if this was a film or a comic book. I think probably a good half of it to 3/4, the Joker would be on top and enjoying life, and then Spider-Man would finally kick in, and he'd have the big hero win at the end of the fight.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's another versus. Let us know what you think about putting these two in the ring together. What would happen? And if you have any suggestions that you'd like us to discuss, let us know. Yeah,
really, we love your input, especially on these videos. We're looking for people to come in and say, of course, we don't want you to be belligerent about it. If you want to, that's okay too.
If you disagree, let us know. If you agree with us, let us know. If you think there's a better versus out there, let us know. Like
Absolutely.
I said, this could go on infinitely. And we've even talking about putting like a super team of like good guys from Marvel, DC, and fictional characters against villains from Marvel, DC, and fictional as well.
Man, I'd be all over that.
So, just let us know. Give us your ideas. And obviously look out for more to come. Is that it?
That's it.